All right, so these are proportions, and proportions, they're easy to solve. When we did this in the textbook, we had like some story problems, and we'll do some story problems, but I want to just crank through the math. The easiest way to solve a proportion is cross multiplication. So you're going to cross multiply these. In other words, I'm going to say 3 times 2, and then you're going to set that equal to this stuff here, 10 times x. And when you set them equal to each other from here, you're just going to say, what's 3 times 2, guys? 6. And then I say that's equal to 10x. All right. Divide both sides by 10. And 10 divided by 10 is 1. 1 times x is x. And we get x is equal to 6 over 10. Can 6 over 10 be reduced? Yeah, it can. And so, yeah, to 3, 5. Okay. So whenever you see a fraction, we always need to make sure that the fractions are reduced. What you should do is think, is it divisible by a prime number? Is it divisible by a prime number? And you guys remember what prime numbers are? 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. And in this case, they're both divisible by 2 because they're even numbers. So because they're both divisible by 2, what's 6 divided by 2? 3. What's 10 divided by 2? 5. So my final answer on this one is just x is equal to 3/5. That wasn't that hard, was it? Let's do the next one. I'm not going to explain this. I'm just going to write it out. You try to do it on your own. We'll probably finish about the same time. Don't skip steps, though. Does everybody have a calculator? I can't remember if I have them leaving the answers as a fraction or. Let me get over here and check this real quick.
You can't do it. How many can do it?
No, I actually have them doing it as a decimal.
It's like 7.8.
Yeah, so we're going to convert these to a decimal. So 3 over 5 converted to a decimal. Remember, guys, if you want to convert a decimal, you just take the numerator of the fraction and divide it by the denominator. That'll be 0.6 on number 1. So let's rewrite that. Over here, this is x equals 0.6 as a decimal. You could leave it as a fraction. In fact, I want you guys to leave them as fractions and then convert it to a decimal. So now for this one, I've got 55 divided by 7 is equal to k, or k equals let's find out the decimal. Yeah, so we're going to say 55 divided by 7, and we'll get I'm going to round up to 7.86, okay? Remember, and let's kind of refresh for rounding up. If this is 7.857 and there's a bunch of decimals afterwards, if I want to round to the 8th or the 10th, or if I want to round to the hundredths, we'll round to the hundredths. I'm going to look at the number to the right. If it's greater than 5, then we round up. So that means that k is approximately 7.86. Now, if this number here was 4 or lower, we would round down and it would be 7.85. But our approximate value, notice that Mr. Adams put the squiggly equal sign. That means approximate. Why does it matter that I put a squiggly sign? The squiggly sign lets somebody see the answer, and if you're trained in mathematics, you'll look at it and go, oh, they rounded. That's important, okay? Hey, you move over here. You guys are playing too much. All right, let's move on to the next one. Are you guys ready? That was the Simpson laugh. Ha ha. All right, here we go. I'll race you guys. Let's see if you could beat me.
I don't know how to do this.
Well, pay attention. Maybe if you weren't playing around.
I wasn't playing around. He was touching me.
Well, quit touching each other. Hey,
I was touching him. He was touching me.
cross multiply. That's how you do it. So 8 times 8, we're going across from each other and set it equal to 6 times n. That's how you get it done. All right, every one of these problems is going to be the same. What's 8 times 8? 64 is equal to 6 times n. Now, 6 times n is what's going on. If I want to move the 6 away, I do the opposite of times. So I'm going to divide this by 6. Whatever I do on one side of the equal sign, I have to do to the other. That reduces to something, but we're going to say 64 divided by 6 to get the decimal. And it's 10.6 repeating over here, where you're not by people. And pay attention and write this down. This is going to be 10.666. And this just goes on forever. It's repeating. That's what n equals. Because 6 divided by 6 is 1. 1 times n is all this stuff. So then if I want to round this here, I look at this number. Is that 5 or greater? Yes. So I round up. So then it becomes 10.67. Do I put an equal sign or squiggly equals? Squiggly. That means approximate. That means approximately. When I see whenever Mr. Adams sees a squiggly equal sign, I know that they rounded it. I know that that number is not the exact value. In fact, let's write that down because that comes up later on in Algebra 1 and Algebra 2. Not exact. It was rounded. Okay. That's the answer. Wha-bam with the bacon sizzle. You guys have that written down? Can we move on to the next one?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, good. Okay. Somebody tell me what I'm going to do. Cross multiply. So on one side, I'm going to say, yeah, it's 66, but let's write out each step. It's 6 times 11. Then on the other side, I've got 3 times v, right? Oh, this one will, this is 3 times v. What's 6 times 11? 66. And then that's equal to 3v. Now, I want to get v by itself. What do I do, kids? Yeah, it is multiplying, but to move it, we do the opposite of multiply, which is division. What's 3 divided by 3?
1.
No. Yeah, go back over there. You can't be by people. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 1 times v is v. And what's 66 divided by 3? Oh, man, you guys are on it. 22.